Alright, I'm doing an update on my favorite knives. Last time I did a video on my favorite knives, a lot of people watched it, and lately I had somebody say, hey, can you update that? So I'm updating it. Right here's what I put out last time as my favorite knives. This was the tops on my fixed blades, and then these two were the next ones. Here's my old Puma knife that I've been carrying since I was 18. It's never failed me. All the blades are good on it, and I've not been easy on this knife. You've seen it in videos, and I talked a lot about it. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out of here now, but that's always with me, and of course I'll never get rid of it. But right here were my three favorites last time. I went with this one right here. Perfect fit and finish, A2 steel on it, maple handles, red liners, Bravo 1.5, the regular thickness. Really good thick handle, comfortable handle. I always like the Bravo handles. I got the ramp on this one. I'd never get rid of that knife. And so that was my favorite overall last time, and these two are good working knives that were my favorites. They're both ebony handles, Macassar ebony, and Bravo 1 lights. One's got the ramp and the other don't. But now I've got more knives now. I got this long knife, Nature Reliance long knife, or Chamonix, whichever you want to call it. I've got two of them. Also got two of my favorite knife, but this one just barely a little bit better fit and finish and stuff, so I singled it out. But these here are equal on the fit and finish and the usefulness, but I'll just show the one. So I have that. It's a little bit longer than the Bravo 1.5, but it's thinner, and I've reviewed this knife some before since I've had it. Really nice handle on there, plenty of room, very comfortable, nice shape and contour of handle. It balances real good. It's not real front heavy. Blade length on it, you can see just shy of 7, about 6 7/8 roughly. AEBL steel on this one, and so far I'm liking that steel. It sharpens up really sharp, not hard to sharpen. I don't know that it holds the edge as long as 3V, but it sharpens up real nice, and it holds an edge as long as I need it to. Real good working knife for everything. I just find myself grabbing this knife all the time for stuff. Do a lot of kitchen work with it, and then anytime I'm just opening or doing anything, I might just grab that knife. Then I have this one. I waited a long time to get one of these. I'd wanted a Canadian belt knife style knife for a long time, and I saw this one and picked it up. I looked it over. It was perfect fit and finish. LT Wright, large northern hunter, and this knife gets used every day for one thing or another by me or somebody in the household. So we use that for a lot of just general stuff, opening anything, cutting up stuff in the kitchen or anything. It's good for a lot. It's more of a game knife, I think, but I've showed myself on there kind of doing a little bit of other work with it and stuff. I had a video showing this knife doing some other work, putting a hatchet handle back on, and really nice knife. I'm very pleased with that. It's up into my favorites now. Here's one of my bark rivers you've seen. Perfect fit and finish on that. Desert ironwood handle. It's the Aurora. That's a really good working knife. Good blade shape, got the point right in the center. It's one of my favorite knives. This knife here is an honorable mention. I like the style of that blade real good. Really like that style of blade. It's like a semi-skinner, and I've skinned a deer with that before and did various things with it. but it's just the handle right here for skinning and everything is good. It's thin on the front. It's not so good for other stuff. And it's an honorable mention. I'm not going to put it all the way up into my favorites, but it is a good knife too. So, bringing them all back out. I don't know if you can see all them real good here, but if I had to choose right now and they said, all right, you can only keep one knife. For some reason, I was, like I said it before, if I was running out of the house and I only had time to grab one knife, it's still going to be that one right there. It's still the number one knife. Even though I don't use it as much as I've been using these. Since I got these, I've been using them more than any other knife. And this one is a close second. I don't use this knife as much, but I would not get rid of this one. Now, some of the reasoning behind that is this knife right here would be hard to replace. Sure, they make Bark River Bravo 1.5s all the time. Bark River uses A2 steel a lot, but this was a Bark River that was made back a few years ago. I've had this knife a long time. It's one of the earlier Bark Rivers I got. The fit and finish on this knife is perfect. They mated this up right here, all the steel and all the wood and everything's mated up real good right there. They didn't have short handles here that left steel sticking out past the handle. It's rounded off real good right there and coming right where it needs to be right here. The plunge grinds on it's even. Both sides of the grind height are the same. Just perfect. And it's got this curly maple handle on it, which they still do that. They still make curly maple. But I'm saying the overall fit and finish, good wide handle, because I've got other Bravo 1 lights and things, and the handle should be the same, but they'll have thin handles sometimes or thicker or whatever. So this has got the perfect handle size, the good thickness on it, perfect fit and finish. LT Wright, I could probably order another one of these and it'd come just like I've ordered two, and I had really not much gripe on it. I did say the spine, I don't like how they sharpen the spine, but a lot of people like that. I just don't think it's as neat as what it could be, and I'm talking about the sidewaysness there. But other than that, this knife's really well made. This one's perfect. But they're Black Micarta, and LT Wright is making these knives all the time, and so far as I've seen, LT Wright's fit and finish is good all the time. But Bark River, it's like I might order 10 of these knives just that I think would be exactly like this and not get one this well made anymore. That just have the handles not mating up right there, or the plunge grinds would be different, or all angled in there somehow, or grind height might be a little, because they're all hand done. But this one was handmade, but it's perfect. So that knife right there is still my number one knife. If I was keeping one knife, it would be that one. I don't think it's more useful than this one, or even these other ones as far as daily use. I don't use this one as much, but I could not replace that knife very easy to get that same thing with that quality of build anymore. They're just not, you'd just not get it. It'd have a thin handle or something. I've said enough about that. So that right there is my number one. Now, I think right now, the more that I'm using knives and stuff, these here, like I said, I've got two of them and they're getting the most use, the LT Wrights anymore. So they're getting on up there in favorite knives, and I don't use these as much anymore. Now, there again, I think it would be a little harder to replace these because I don't always even see Macassar ebony handles anymore, and I want a match set, so it would be really hard to replace these knives. So I wouldn't want to get rid of them either because of replacing them. But usefulness wise, So I guess what, back up here, this knife right here I wouldn't get rid of. I wouldn't get rid of these two. They're probably the next ones, because I feel like it'd be hard to replace them. And then down here you got the other three. This one here, I think I could probably replace it, and I don't use it as much, and it's a it's a bushcraft knife. I don't use it as much as I have these other ones, but I've skinned some stuff with them and whatever, and different things. But it's hard to know where to put in with these here on this one because of just getting it back. But I don't use it as much as these, so I think in order of favorite on down, I'm still gonna keep these up here because really nice wooden handles, real good work on them. And these right here, all these LT Wrights, they're just dynamite knives. Really good, useful knife. Using wise, they're at the top. I use these more than any right now. And these two I've used more than any other knives too in the day. So that's how they kind of pan out. That might seem a little bit redundant and a little bit confusing, but categories as far as usefulness, the LT Wrights are super useful, especially that one. But these knives just really, I don't know how I'd replace them. So I got to keep them up the top. And then my LT Wrights, I mean, they're just, I just use them, but I know I can get more of them that's made good. And I got that in there. It's kind of a little bit lower. I don't use it much, but I do like it. So that wraps it up. That's my favorite knives as of right now.